Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So today we're doing something a little bit different. So as you can see, I have 4 different dash cams from the same company. So previously I have actually done an unboxing, and by the time you see this video, you should have already seen the full video for this particular one. So this company is 70MAI. Not sure how you actually pronounce their name, but that's what it is, 70MAI. And as you can see, they produce various different types of dash cams with different features, different probably price levels. I'm not actually checked that, but obviously these are designed for different scenarios. They're also designed with different capabilities in terms of picture, rear camera. You have something where it's got 360 view. So all of these are catered for different sectors of the market. So this video is hopefully to help you guys decide which one is the right one for you. So I have already done the unboxing for the 4K T800. So in this video, we're going to put this one aside and we're going to concentrate on these other 3. And what we'll do is we'll start with what looks like the simplest, so we'll go from right to left. So I'll put these 2 to a side for now and we'll concentrate on the unboxing for this particular one. So this is the 4K M800 HDR set. So this looks like a dual camera setup. It has got 4K recording in HDR and it is 2-channel recording as well. Take a look on this. As I mentioned in the previous video, so they are using Sony Starvis 2 sensors, and then you've got all the other features there as well. We'll get this opened up and we'll take a look at what we're getting. Okay, so first thing we're getting is the main camera unit, which is there. So I'm going to leave this on until we've actually got this installed, just to avoid getting any fingerprints or anything on the actual lens itself. So this unit compared to the previous one is a lot smaller. On the left hand side you've got a USB-C as well as some sort of micro USB connection. On the back you have the mount, and you do have instructions in terms of when it's locked and when it's not locked. On the bottom you have a QR code for presumably the app, and on the right hand side you have the power button. So that is all you're getting on there. So in here you are getting some sticky pads. So these will probably be spares. You're getting some stickers if you want to put them on. You're getting some paperwork in terms of the app, and then you are also getting some pretty plain stickers in terms of how you actually fit these. So with these nowadays, because they stick and adhere to the actual windscreen and they don't want to make that awkward when you're removing it, they give you these. So basically you stick this to the windscreen and then you stick the mount onto these. So if you do want to remove it, it's easy to actually remove it. Now these won't come off by themselves, but it does mean that when you do want to remove them or move them about, you can do so without ruining your whole windscreen. There you have the actual booklet for the unit itself, and over here we have the rear camera. So I'm not sure if they've given any details in terms of what this rear camera is. I'm not sure if this is also a 4K one or not. So this one, as you can see, is a sort of proprietary plug compared to the previous one that I did the unboxing for. So that one used USB-C. This one is using a proprietary plug. And then let's get this lifted up. So under here we are getting a USB-A to USB-C cable. We're getting the mount for the main unit like that, and then in order to click it in you push it. So this one locks by going to the side. Yeah, so the mount for this particular one you would stick on and then you lock by lining up the arrow with the padlock itself, and then to unlock you push back the opposite way and it will click off. The other cable you're getting is that tiny little proprietary one. So this is for your rear camera. So your rear camera looks like it's just powered directly off the main one. Alongside that you are getting a trim tool, and finally you are getting the same twin powered cigarette lighter socket, and presumably this can be the same sort of power rating as well. So this just means that you can connect this and still have use of at least one USB-A connection for your power socket itself. Okay, so that is everything that you gain with this particular one. Now the one thing that I've noticed that is missing from this particular kit is you're not getting a memory card with this one included. So with this particular one I don't see a slot for the memory card, so I'm guessing this one has onboard storage. So you've got 128 gigs by the look of it onboard storage, which should be more than enough to have continuous recording. So that is the 4K M800 HDR set. Okay, so next up is the 800 SE set. So this one looks a bit more similar to the original one that I did. So this was the 4K T800 and this one is the A800 SE. So in terms of the details, this one is only boosting 4K 30. So whether or not this one is limited by the rear camera as well, or whether the main unit only records 4K 30, we'll have to wait and see. It does have parking surveillance on this particular version as well. Okay, so first thing we get is the actual paperwork. So the same thing again. So we are getting some booklets, the clear stickers for both the front I should say, and the rear cameras, or the other way around. And then we're also getting one spare 3M sticker. So taking a look at the actual unit. So this looks very similar. Strangely enough, this one doesn't actually have a cover on the lens. The lens on this one does once again rotate, so you can change the angle depending on once you mounted it, depending on your windscreen. Let's take a look at the ports. So we are getting AV in, we're getting DC in, and then we have a micro SD slot just there as well. So I'm expecting this one to have a micro SD card with it. On the opposite side, it looks like we have a power button, a little bit of venting there and venting along the top there as well. The rear camera is similar to the last one that we've just done, so this is going to be powered off the main unit. So I'm guessing this is going to have a cable that actually comes off there. It just plugs directly into this, so it'll just be one cable from the main camera to this one, and that's what's powering it. So yeah, that is that particular cable. So it is USB-C from the main camera to this proprietary plug that connects into the rear camera, and that's plenty long enough, should be fine for most cars. We are getting USB-A power to USB-C for the main unit, so that is to power up the main unit. We're getting a trim removal tool, we're getting the actual mount itself, so this one would be straight, just clip in and that's it, nice and simple. And then the final thing is the exact same cigarette lighter plug, so two USB-A connections, one of them possibly maybe quick charge. Okay, so that is everything that you're getting with the A800 SE set. Okay, and the final dashcam for unboxing is their 4K Omni HDR set. So this one's, it's going to be kind of difficult to see because this pattern is all black on black, and obviously with the lights shining it's going to reflect quite a bit. So this one is also using their Starvis 2 Sony sensor. On the back, taking a look, so you're getting HDR dual channel recording, but by the looks of it this is going to be all one unit. We'll open it up and we'll take a look. With the other three, they were all very similar designs. With this one you can see from the pack that it is quite different. So no, this is still two separate cameras, and it is utilizing the exact same rear camera by the looks of it. So it is going to have a single cable coming off that will connect to this particular proprietary plug, pulling the main unit out. So it's not as big as I thought it was going to be. Looking at the pictures on there, it looked like this unit was going to be huge. It's definitely different. I'll give it that. As you can see, this does rotate, but this has got almost 360 rotation. So it starts there and it goes all, in fact, yeah, it does have 360. So you do have a few buttons on the left hand side of it. On the back, it looks like a speaker possibly, and then you have a micro SD card slot just there that seals up. So on the top you have what looks like a proprietary plug, so possibly that is what goes to the rear camera, and then you have a USB-C input, and then this one for some reason has just a simple suction. So does this not have a mount? So taking a look at everything else that we get in the pack, so firstly you are getting the booklet, you're getting some service cards, another booklet just there for the rear camera usage, and then you're getting a spare sticker for the main unit. You're also getting two sets of stickers. Whilst I've not mentioned it, it does actually give you details in terms of how to stick this on, where to stick it on, and how to make it adhere to basically try and give you the best centering for the actual unit itself, and then it's similar for the rear camera as well. And then on this particular one you are getting a 128 gig micro SD card with it. In terms of cabling, you are getting that proprietary plug, so this would plug into the main unit, that then goes to the rear camera and plugs in like that, and you can't get this wrong. It does only plug in one way. And then the final thing is your main power cable, which is USB-A to USB-C. So none of these are using USB-C to USB-C, so you do still need to use their cigarette lighter in order to power these up. You are also getting a trim removal tool, and the final thing is, I'm guessing the exact same one. Yep, so it is the exact same 12 volt cigarette lighter plug. Okay, so that is everything that you're getting with the 4K Omni HDR set. Next thing will be getting all of these hooked up. I'm going to try and hook all of these up into the same vehicle at the same time, so then I can try and give you the exact same image and you can kind of decide which one is actually best, what meets your requirements, what you need, what you don't need, and also which camera actually fits the best, because obviously this is a lot chunkier than the previous one, so this is a lot more streamlined compared to something like this. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see once they're actually installed as to how they look and how they perform. Okay, so let's take a look at the video samples. So the T800 video was filmed on a different day because I could only get 3 cameras hooked up at one point. And even then, the cameras were basically obstructing a lot of my vision. So I didn't want to do this test for too long, and I didn't want to have too many devices connected up either. But I tried to drive a very similar route so you guys can get an idea in terms of the picture. Now, obviously the M800, the Omni and the A800, they were all recorded at at the same time, and I've tried my best to try and sync these up as best as possible because it splits the clips into like 3-minute sections. It wasn't perfect, but I've got it as close as possible. The other thing to note is that obviously I couldn't mount these right next to each other because they would then obstruct each other. So I've had to put them slightly separated. So the Omni was furthest to the right, the A800 SE I believe was furthest to the left, and the M800 was somewhere in the middle. You can see in terms of picture quality they're all pretty good. The T800 probably looks a little bit more vibrant just because that day was actually brighter. It wasn't raining that day quite so much, but on the other day it was actually raining, so obviously it was a lot more overcast, so we're not getting the same kind of contrast in the sky. Okay, so to give you an idea of full screen what each one looks like, I've included 10 seconds of each one. So this is first up the T800. Next up is the A800 SE. Once again, don't worry too much about the reflections on the inside of the windscreen. That's more to do with my dash than anything else. Next up is the M800. So slightly different viewing angle on this one. And finally the 4K Omni, exactly the same scene for these last three, and you can see the sort of difference between each one. Okay, and finally coming on to the night shots. So once again, the T800 was shot on a separate day. The A800 SE, M800 and the 4K Omni were shot at the same time on the same day, albeit they do record slightly differently because when you power them on, they don't all boot up in the same amount of time, hence why the time is also different on some of these as well. So once again, I've tried to sync this up as best as I could, but it's not going to be perfect. And also for some reason, even when I was at the exact same point, not all of the time is actually synced up correctly. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it's not a massive deal because it's only a few seconds out. Now, one thing that I did mention in the T800 video was regarding the sort of flares or the glare that you're getting with any of the lights. Now, initially I thought that was an issue with the individual camera. However, now I'm thinking it might be some sort of residue on the actual windscreen itself that's actually causing the sharp lens flares rather than anything to do with the cameras, because it can't really be affecting all of these, albeit the rear camera for the T800 didn't suffer quite so badly, as if I remember correctly. But with that said, you can see the differences in the sort of color temperature as well as the amount of light that each one seems to gather. So the M800 seems to have a brighter image compared to something like the A800 SE, which it seems a little bit darker. Now some of this could be to do with the placement of the cameras, but it could also just be the actual sensors or how it's calibrated as well. Okay, and finally the individual night clips. So first up is the T800. Next up is the 800 SE, so you can see the lens flares are there but slightly different. Next up is the M800, and once again a much brighter image compared to the other three. And finally we have the 4K Omni. Okay, so final thoughts on these four. So initially I did actually think that the M800 was going to be my favorite because it's the smallest, it's the easiest to fit. So all of these had a firmware update waiting for them when you first connect them to the app, and the M800 was the easiest and the quickest to do. The A800 was actually the worst because it doesn't actually prompt you or tell you that you have to have the memory card installed in order for you to do the update. In order to update any of these, or I should say, in order to update these three, you do need the memory card installed. And unfortunately, because the 800 is available with or without the memory card, they actually sent me the version without the memory card. So until I actually inserted my own, that one would not update. So in terms of setup, in terms of the app, they're all identical. I do dislike the app slightly because it doesn't stay connected to any single one of these. So it does prompt you to connect to the Wi-Fi of each individual camera every single time. And that does take a little while, even when you have the Wi-Fi enabled for each one as well. So yeah, between all of these, my favorites would actually be these two. So the reason for that is this one would actually be my favorite because it does everything. So it has a very, very good front-facing camera. It has the internal camera, and then you have the rear view camera as well. This is essentially this, but just without this internal part. So if you don't need the inside camera, then go for the 800 in my opinion. The M800 is for those that literally want the most slimmed down, streamlined camera. They don't want a screen, they don't want anything distracting them. This you can literally hide behind the mirror and you will never see it. You could probably even put it behind the actual visor and you still wouldn't be able to see this. Now, one thing about the M800 is you can can connect it to the smartphone app and transfer the information that way, but that takes quite a long time. So the other option is you connect it to either your PC or your Mac. But the problem is you cannot connect this via USB-C. Even though it does have a USB-C connection, it has to be connected via USB-A to USB-C. And that means you're then getting USB-A transfer speeds as well. So it does take quite a long time to transfer the video files. With all of these, they just have a memory card. So you just take the memory card out and transfer it that way. Now, the weirdest one for me was this one, the Omni. And I initially didn't understand what all of this was, why you needed it to have the swiveling camera. And essentially, this one is the best if you require surveillance. So with all of these, you can actually connect the external battery pack and you can use 24/7 recording. So basically it does similar to what you get with Teslas and other new electric cars, where it will give you 24/7 recording. And this is the best for that because the actual camera will rotate and follow somebody. So if somebody is approaching the vehicle while it's parked and it detects it detects motion, it will actually follow them. That's the key sort of difference between this and all of the other ones. So that for me would be the main reason somebody would go for this one over any of the other ones, because they all have rear cameras, they all have at least one front facing camera. If you require parking surveillance, or if you just want extra peace of mind, then this is probably one to consider. If you want the best of the best, then I would go for this. If you don't need the internal camera, then go for this one. And if you just want something very, very simple, then go for this one. Anyway, that's it for this particular video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and turn on notifications for any future videos. And I'd really appreciate if you can also give this video a thumbs up as well. It took a long time and a lot of editing to make this. So yeah, if you can give it a thumbs up, it would be really appreciated. And until the next one, thanks very much for watching.